Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good whatever. Today we're here on SpeedGaming 3, bringing you more Link to the Past Randomizer League Season 3 playoffs. We've got Shock Tools Digging Game of the Misery Mire division. They won that division. And they're represented here by Osse101, and we've got WJP-DTB, took second in that division, won a playoff series against Team Did You Check Your Boot? And they're represented today by inthenameofDT. Calling this match today, I'm Reg. I'm joined by Tracy M. So Tracy, got casual boots on tap.
Casual boots, which means we're going to get about 5 minutes of the two brothers doing the same thing, doing it very fast because we will start with boots and we'll start with the sword. And we have an hourglass. Okay, we get definitely the definite weird sports day, and only a bottle's nice. I mean, we can check Sick Kid when we get to Kakariko, but right now we're just gonna do the escape.
Yep. Being able to dash through it makes for a little bit of fun times. We see a map check there. That's 5-6 crystals at Hera and Desert, and then another one in Eastern.
Wow, 5-6 crystals in the light world like that? You don't see that very often. Might mean there's something at the Pyramid Ferry, or it just might be a big red herring. Of course, Desert, kind of a strange beast in Randomizer, since it might actually be a while before we can get there, depending on where the book is, or if the game wants us to have flute plus mitts plus mirror, you know.
Yeah. Anyways, we're into the castle here. We'll get to Desert a bit later, as you mentioned, but one of the big things that I want to keep in mind here is we do have bombs already, found a 3-pack of those, so don't really need to farm those, especially with the boots already in hand. But one of the quirks of the boots, if you kill an enemy by dashing through them, they will never, ever drop anything, unless it's a guaranteed like key drop or similar.
Okay. I guess I didn't realize that. Okay, we got Master Sword already. Which kind of lends credence to my theory that you have a higher incidence of agassiz when you start with a sword and boots.
Yeah, I'm not sure that anybody's actually run numbers on that. But
it's not. No one's actually done the numbers, but it just feels that way.
Starting with a sword, it's definitely intuitive that because it reduces the requirements. You only need to find lamp plus cape or second sword, and not 2 swords.
A nice bit of safety with blue mail.
That'll be really great until they decide they want a death warp somewhere.
Exactly.
So more quirks here. We see Osse going for a double spin while DT's going for slashes and then a spin. Fighter Sword slashes do same damage to ball and chain guard as Fighter Sword slashes. The spins do significantly more damage, Tempered Sword tier as usual. But Light World boss damage tables are fun.
Yeah, the Fighter Sword is a weird beast in terms of damage tables. It's its own little category in some ways.
Yeah, the Fighter Sword is obviously has its own quirks, but Master Sword against the Light World bosses specifically is one of the weirdest things in this game. I can't come up with anything else.
Almost as if the game didn't intend for you to have Master Sword against the Light World bosses.
But then they made Tempered Sword optional and put all the Light World bosses in Ganon's Tower.
This is true. I don't know about you, but I had a gold sword the first time I played this game all the way through when I got there, so.
Yeah, I would assume that people playing casually and actually reading text boxes and knowing how to do things probably would, which is just really fun. But if you're trying to go fast or if you're trying to challenge yourself, yeah, you can get to the Master Sword fun times.
Okay, and do you see that key in Dark Cross where it had to be at this point?
Yep, if you don't find that somewhere in the front part of the castle and you're playing the standard open, then it'll be in its vanilla spot because you have to find it so you can proceed.
I don't think we've seen the map yet, so they might be able to skip that item in the sanctuary.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what we found in the front part, but it's just, I'm already drawing a blank. But no map there. Oh, chat's saying map was in Zelda's cell. Thank you, chat.
Gotcha. Well, then I guess we will be opening the chest. So far of the stuff, we've seen 2 bottles, which again, you know, sick kid. We've gotten a Master Sword, so that's very nice, but really not a whole lot of progression.
Nope, just that nice little fetch quest. And then Boots will open up Bonk Rocks for us on the way to Kakariko.
Yeah, and there's a good chance you'll see the runners go ahead and check. Oh, that's nice, a flute. There's a good chance you'll see the runners check Lumberjack now. A lot of runners will like to wait until they have boots to do that check, but we already have boots, so you know there's really no other good time to do it.
Yep, surprise! When you start with Boots, you check Lumberjack more often. It's just how it goes.
Okay, what do we got? Just arrows. So Bonk Rock's a dud, but at least it's not out of the way.
Bonk Rock's less of a dud than Uncle, at least. And yeah, one of the less popular advantages to checking Lumberjack immediately, you get more shots at the tree poles and the bush crabs.
And just a piece of heart there. I don't think we're going to go get that later.
Nope. Still some odds that we'll be killing Aghanim at the top of that tower, but it's not going to be for that.
Definitely not going to be for the item, but definitely we're a lamp away from having Aga and Logic in terms of Dark World Axis. Granted, we want a Moon Pearl first. Don't have that yet. Oh, there's a nice hammer.
Yeah, that hammer significantly reduces the odds that we'll be killing Aghanim, but significantly reduced is still not 0.
Not by any stretch. Oof, just arrows in the drop down.
Yeah, been a fair few of those already. I always love seeing the bow before we get to 30 arrows, but that's not very common with how many arrow drops are in the pool.
Interesting, Osse being real thorough about checking all the tree pulls. It's gotten him a little bit of it behind. Not nearly enough that it makes a big difference at this early stage of the game, though. No,
but he did pull a bunch of cash off of the bush crab, too.
He does have more money, and there's a book and a glove. So unless we're looking for a Moon Pearl on the Pyramid Ledge, we are not going to be seeing Aga. Granted, that did happen. I believe that was this week.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what race that was, and I'm drawing a blank on it.
Yeah, they all kind of start running together after a while.
But,
and even more money in Kakariko there for Osse.
Yeah, so that bush crab really not doing much for Osse here with all the money we've got available. But what we do have is access to the front part of Desert Palace. Yep. Not killing a boss without fire, but the rest is there.
And our 3rd bottle. We're not even 10 minutes into the game. We've already got 3 bottles. And a bow that we missed on DT's side.
Yeah, so we did find the bow before getting to 30 arrows. You'd love to see it.
It doesn't happen often, but it can. And DT realizing what you can get when you drop a bee in front of the bottle vendor.
Quick swap makes that a lot more attractive, especially since, honestly, bee is not very useful. But Osse not selling his doesn't really need the cash, even though it would let him go afford Zora right now if he wanted to. So
at 458, chances are he's going to get enough for Zora money pretty soon if he wants to go for it. It is in logic with the gloves. More likely you'd do it with the other Zora area checks, because with the boots you can do a nice water walk to check the waterfall fairy as well.
Yeah, and with the bow, you can do splash deletion to get the ledge item if that's important.
And
yeah, there was that 50 in the chicken hut. And then on top of that, the bush crab does drop 20s. So no shortage of cash today.
No shortage whatsoever. Oh, and we're already at tempered sword.
Yeah, saves us from having to try to use that hammer as a real weapon.
Oh, hammer as a weapon, just oof.
Yeah. As long as you're not facing up, I find that it's not completely terrible, but it's not great.
Yeah, given a choice with the tempered sword, that's what you want to use. But yeah, certainly, hammer not great. Hammer definitely usable though.
And having
the flute. Yeah, just arrows at the race game, and DT just fluting away. We'll see Osse do the same thing, no doubt. DT going straight over to Eastern. Taking that bow, hoping to get something out of that.
I really like this. Even without a fire source, for logical implications, I still really like this. Just knock out the crystal that you can do. It's a good 3 items, and then there's 3 more in Sahasrara's hut afterwards.
So, Osse did the dam item, but did not actually do the flooded item? That's pretty odd.
You're right. Dang. I've never actually seen that one before. Like, I've seen somebody put off the dam.
Forget the inside. Or put off the whole... Yeah, put off the dam entirely.
Put off the whole thing. Like, try to combo it with Swamp Palace, for example. But not seeing anybody do just one and leave the other.
And more money. Well, if Osse wants to do Zor, he's going to be able to do it. And he's going to be able to do it pretty quickly if he does a water walk with it.
Yeah. Also, that piece of heart filling out a container for Osse is actually really good news if he does intend to go for a water walk. Because there's a nice little quirk to Boots water walks in the waterfall cave, where you can lose it if you get a heart refill off a piece of heart in there, or if you pull the snake heart. And yeah, no risk of that, except he's going to Eastern instead.
With the flute, he can flute right back over to the Ice Rod Cave, set up that water walk later, and do it then. As you say, being able to do a full clearable crystal dungeon makes a lot of sense. I am really curious about that flooded item, though.
Yeah, I think we'll see it on DT's side once he's out of Eastern.
It's not the kind of mistake that I would expect someone like Osse to make, really anybody at this level. But, I mean, mistakes do happen, or maybe he just decided, you know what, I'm just going to wait on it, catch it later.
Yeah, and the thing is, the odds of any one specific check being your progression is pretty low when you've got a lot of other stuff open. So the chances that this impacts him are really low, and again, Swamp Palace is presumably a thing. I guess actually with 3 Dark World pendants, it's only
we don't know.
Better than 50-50.
Yeah, a lot of people like to have those Light World dungeons be your crystals because they're easy dungeons, they're quick dungeons. But the thing I don't like about them as Light World, as crystal dungeons, is between the 3 of them, you have 7 total items out of them, whereas like Swamp Palace all by itself has 6.
Yep, definitely lower density plays.
Yeah, so there's kind of a give and take with that.
Yeah. Also, we did not see a good chunk of Eastern on DT's side due to technical issues, I believe. But Osse's showing us all it's just all been junk so far.
Also going to point out that the dark room that DT just went through, I didn't quite see what he did to get through it. I find that if you have a tempered sword or higher, it just makes it a lot easier because you can one-shot the Igors and just, spam your sword.
Yeah, in the dark, using arrows can set up good just placements and guideposts, but The bow or the tempered sword does kill those things in one hit, so here's our most knights. And there's a good quick kill on the Armos Knights.
And a Bombos, which, as always with medallions at this stage of the game, we don't know if we need that or not.
Yeah. The good news for Bombo specifically is that even if it's not the medallion that opens up Mire or Turtle Rock, there's always that chance that the Fire Rod is behind Ice Palace.
Mm-hmm. Well, and in general, it's probably the most useful of the medallions because even if you do have Fire Rod going into Ice Palace, it's a bit of a magic save on Cold Stare. So using the Bombos medallion instead of the Fire Rod is not a bad play in that situation.
Yep, and Bombos also the medallion that is just generally the most effective at killing things, if you want to go that route. Longest animation, but kills the most things.
Yeah, I find Bombos and Ether, depending on the enemies, are both really good. Okay, we're gonna see the flooded item now. So, and DT going to do this the opposite way. You don't see too many people do the flooded item first and then do the chest. We'll see what it is. Bottle number 4. So if Osse never goes back for that, he will be just fine. I don't think DT's gonna pick it up either.
Yeah, even with that free fairy in it, I could actually see DT picking it up just for that. And yeah, he will.
Oh, he is. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I have mixed feelings about a fairy. It's a nice safety, but I don't know about you, but I find I forget I have a fairy on a death warp more often than I have one save my life.
Yeah, at the same time, it's just that little what-if moment.
Oh, and just an aside, even though it isn't logically placed, that big 20, that green 20 representing the boots, so kind of French vanilla there, sitting there in the back of Saha's closet.
Yep, and again, even though that is a Sphere 1 check with no item requirements, logic doesn't come into that at all.
No. And Osse's still not going to go do Ice Rock Cave, going to go ahead and rescue the old man. Not a whole lot he can do over here on the mountain, but he gets that save quit spot, which is always useful.
Yeah, save quit spot, plus the slim chance at pulling out either a mirror or a hook shot to let you do a lot more on the mountain.
We are starting to run low on checks, which says it's going to be either here in Ice Rod Cave, which it's not. It's not going to be the old man, because that's not in logic. We do have the Spectral Rock Cave and Zora at the moment. Try to think what else we have in logic. Agita, which is easy to get to. With
Agita and then inside of Desert Palace as well.
Right, because we have that book.
Yeah, we've still got a few things left.
A few, but we are starting to dwindle, and it's not the mountain.
Yep. Not even any good on top of Spectacle Rock, though we couldn't get that without a mirror regardless.
It's not Desert Ledge. There's a mushroom sitting there in the Waterfall Cave, but also not in logic. We'll see if DT holds on to that for a while if he turns it in right now, knowing that it's not in logic.
I think what he'll probably do is he'll save and quit out of Zora area since he can't flute out of there anyways. Yep. And then he can just save scum the turn in.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm a big fan of the save scum for the mushroom. If you can set it up properly. And the answer is not Zora.
DT's not taking the save and quit. He's still got his water walk since he didn't grab the item, so...
Yeah, he might be running back to the portal so that he can do the hobo.
Yes, actually, that's good thought from him, because otherwise hobo is a very orphan check. Like, you probably won't check that until you're looking at, like, Ice Palace as an option.
Mm-hmm.
So this is really the best time for him to get that.
Yeah, I've always been of the opinion that this hobo check is just out of the way of all. Like, people tend to group all the flippers checks together, but I feel like this hobo check just doesn't fit in with the other 4. But with Water Walk, it's a lot faster. So the way DT did it was pretty efficient. And it's just 10 arrows, which really not a surprise. It's not the logical check. But he did it quick enough that it's not a big deal, and he doesn't have to worry about it later.
Yeah. My thought on Hobo is that if you're doing a fake flipper, then it's easy to combine with the other checks. Osse's got the progression. We're off to the Dark World.
I think he's still going to check Agina before heading over there, but yeah, it is. The answer was Desert. And Osse can save some time if he never goes over to the Zora area, unless that mushroom matters.
Yeah, we'll probably see him go at some point just because it's hard to put 4 checks. But if he can combo that in with something like Catfish, maybe, after getting the flippers in the mirror, then that would be efficiency.
Okay, no surprise Agina was nothing since we did find our progression at the Moon Pearl. And let's see where in the Dark World Osse decides to start. It looks like we're going to see a Hype Cave check.
He just wanted that 50-50 bomb, I guess. Yeah, he's going Zora before the Dark World?
I guess so. Just want to clean up all those Sphere 1 checks, I guess. I guess technically Zora is not a Sphere 1, because you do need the gloves or flippers for it, but...
Yeah, but Ice Rod Cave is, even though we know it's nothing. And then cleaning up Zora afterwards, as we saw on DT's side earlier, is not very hard.
Yep.
It's also worth noting, as DT just demonstrated again, we do see both items in the front of Desert Palace. Landmole is not holding one. So as long as those 5-6 crystals aren't guarding anything at the Pyramid Fairy, we could put off Desert for a long while. The boss kill, that is.
Okay, and Osse's going to head over to Zora. I'm going to see that ledge item. Not going to want to grab that. I forget what it was, but it's one of those things where I think I forgot because it was forgettable. And it was 20 rupees, so definitely forgettable.
Too many of those in the item pool to keep track of.
Yep.
I think Osse's going to be forced into grabbing the item with this position. So he'll lose his Water Walk here, I think? Yeah. So no going back to Hobo for him, even if I don't
think that was in his plans. He's going to go ahead and save and quit. I think for him it makes a little more sense not to have checked it right away, just because DT was still looking for stuff. Osse already has the Moon Pearl and was just thinking maybe I should do just kind of double checking to make sure that the Zora item was nothing, and since it was in logic, I guess. And going to get more route diversions. Osse going to go ahead and do Village of Outcasts first while DT's checking Hype Cave.
Yeah, we did see on DT's map that pendants are Pod Mire with green at Turtle Rock.
Ooh, that's an interesting set of pendants. Pendant Pod, famous for having good stuff.
Turtle Rock,
Mire,
similarly.
Yeah, Turtle Rock, yeah, absolutely. And Pet is dead. Osse decides to go ahead and check it just to be sure. Not a thing.
Yeah. DT did pull a Fire Rod out of Hype Cave in addition to some red mail. But I do like I think I like the Village of Outcast Dark World start more than the Hype Cave start in general. It's without mitts, specifically. It feels smoother. But that Fire Rod really sort of throws that off, especially with Crystal Skull Woods.
Yeah, so if Osse goes into Skull Woods, he's going to clear the front. He won't be able to finish it out. DT will be able to go straight to the back, and then can choose, depending on where the items are, may or may not do the front.
Yeah, the only issue for DT here is that now he's saving and quitting because he has nowhere else he can effectively go.
Well, already found the first item. But we don't have a small key, so the only way to go do the rest of the front is to go steal a small key or to fall down the hole. Osse is just not going to bother. Says I got one item out of here. I'm not going to worry about the other right now. Looks like he's gonna check bumper ledge.
Honestly, considering the keys and how long it would take to check the middle chest and go steal the key if necessary, I don't dislike this from Aussie.
No, I don't like. I think this is fine. There's one more item in Skullwoods, and it can be in a number of places. Looks like DT's also going to do that ped check.
Yeah, you've got to come into the Lost Woods to get to the Dark World portal with the hammer, regardless. So this is the best time to do it.
Ooh, red cane. Red cane that not needed. We did say pendants on Mire and Turtle Rock, so that red cane might not be needed at all. Maybe it's just needed for GT. So maybe that big key's on the right side. Yep. Certainly would be good to have because they'll be able to use it for Ice Palace and the Icebreaker.
Yeah, it can save a handful of seconds in Swamp Palace as well using it.
Okay, Aussie, the first one into Thieves Town. A little surprised that DT doesn't just go straight into Skullwoods with that fire rod.
I can see it though, because you may as well. You've got everything you need for Thieves Town. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, you always have everything you need for Thieves Town. So yeah, I mean, it's certainly not unreasonable. They're both crystal dungeons, so it's kind of which order do you want to do them in.
Yeah, and with DT already having done the stuff south of the village, nice mitts. But with DT already having done the stuff south of the village, what he would hope for is do this stuff, hope to like find a mirror so that he can do Skull Woods and then go straight east from there.
Yeah, that would make sense.
We also did see a lamp on Aussie's side inside Thieves Town. DT is about to pull it here. Doesn't mean that much to these guys with the fire rod in hand. Not going to use that lamp for lighting torches, but it's a convenience.
Well, and interestingly enough, if I recall, I don't think this lamp is logically needed for anything, depending on whether we have to enter pendant dungeons, because Eastern is the only fire locked crystal, and the big key was not on in its vanilla location, was it?
It was not. No, there was a map there.
So the fire rod puts Eastern in logic. So yeah, that lamp might not be needed for anything.
Yeah, but it is like you said earlier. Pendant Pod is famous for having the goods. I think DT had the lineup for the Hellway dash there, but enemy RNG just rejected him.
Yeah, that pixel perfect run, even if you get it exactly right, the RNG can just say no to you.
Yeah, between the anti-fairies, the fire snakes, the little starfish enemies, nothing in that room will ever do what you want it to do. And we do see on Aussie's side, no small key found, means a small key in big chests.
Always nice to have that.
Yeah, save a few screen transitions. And here's the blind fight. Looking to see something cleanly executed on Aussie's side here, with this being the most formulaic boss in the game.
Here we go.
Yep.
That is one down blind for a compass. So not a whole lot in the back of Thieves Town, but some good stuff in the front. And Aussie will go pick up those mitts outside in just a second.
Yeah, and then he'll circle around the rest of the Dark World down to Hype Cave from there.
Yep.
He'll actually have a good chance to route in the Smith pickup, which I guess DT could do, but he would have to wait until after Skull Woods to most effectively do that.
Yeah, I could see the problem for Osse, of course, is he has to do the dig game before he picks up the smith, because the guy at the dig game is pretty picky. He doesn't like you to bring anybody with you. Looks like he is going to do hammer pegs, though, at the very least.
Yeah, this makes a good bit of sense. It signals to me that he doesn't intend to finish out Purple Chest.
Yeah.
Which, again, that's another trip to the Dark World, so if you don't have to do that, you don't generally want to without a mirror.
And he does decide to take that heart container. DT also finishing up his blind fight very nicely.
Yep. And then he's going to grab his red cane, and then he'll be up into Skull Woods.
And Osse says no to the 20 rupees that he digs up.
Yeah,
Let's see if he goes and grabs the smith now. For him, it wouldn't be a bad idea, just because he's gonna go get that fire rod. He doesn't know it now, but I suspect he'll go do Skull Woods once he gets that fire rod. And dropping off that smith won't be that far out of the way compared to going straight over to Skull Woods.
Yeah, you'll just flute to 3 and then head straight north from there after the smith turn-in. It's not too bad at all.
Yeah, let's see. What do we even need at this point? Flippers and mirror?
Hookshot.
Hookshot. And a hookshot, yeah?
Yeah, those 3 items are...
So,
it.
What we need is the Swamp Palace care package, and then we'll be good to go.
Yeah. Either hookshot or mirror will give us access to East F Mountain, Hair, and so on, too. Yep. So I'm expecting to see one of them soon.
There's that fire rod for Osse. And that red mail, save and quit. So yeah, at this point, we have the smith chain. We've seen one piece of it. We'll see another piece in just a second. We also have, Osse could, if he wanted to, do some fake powder. It's maybe not the best time to do it, although there is some nice magic refills. He's going to do King's Tube right here, which is a real good call, I think. You're not going to be closer to it than if you, except doing it with the mirror, if you can combine it with the Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, it's a really inconvenient check because it's just one of those where the best time to do it is after a save and quit.
Yep.
And
you get a flute.
But it's not a super early game check like the back of Escape is.
Yeah. So once you have the flute, you're just not saving and quitting as often. We do without the mirror though. We still have to save and quit out of the Dark World.
DT was making good use of poke dashes there. Unlike regular pokes, poke dashes do full slash damage, so 4 of them kills them off.
And the smith's just holding $50 for us. Let's see where Osse flutes next to. Back to Kakariko. Probably gonna go do Skull Woods right now. I could see him going and doing the back first. I did not see if DT got an item there.
No, I think it was a compass that dropped off the mall. Regardless, small key there. So there was something else in the front. We're not going to see it for a little bit here, though.
Yeah, it makes sense for Osse, and I assume DT did this too, to do this middle check on your way over. Of course, it's just a map, doesn't help us at all.
Yeah. Osse taking intentional damage there. That gets rid of his sword beams. That'll save him a little bit of trouble in a couple rooms in the back, I think.
Yeah.
Like that Gibdo in particular, ideally, you would slash that into a spike
Yes.
place, and the spike would overwrite your damage, but RNG is not always so kind.
And there's 20 rupees, the other item in GT, or sorry, in Skull Woods for DT.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, did not do the quick check at the front and could have saved himself a little bit if he had just gone to the right immediately and then gone to the left and gotten this heart container right here.
Yeah, but since he already had the small key from the back, I think the expected value is a bit better doing it in a circle like he did, especially without the mirror.
Another good moth fight.
Yep.
I think we're going to get an Ice Palace play next, which is interesting because we don't actually have the flippers. Could have a hook shot here, could have a mirror here. Of course, Ice Palace could also be hook shot locked in places, so that's something to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact key placements that lead to Ice Palace being hookshot locked. I think it's something like no small keys in like this first chest or the freezer chest or something
so
like that.
there has to be, the big key has to not be available is the big thing. So the big key can't be in this first chest, it can't be in the freezer chest, can't be an iced tea.
Okay.
But you also need to, you are right, you do need to also have a small key available amongst one of those locations in order to be able to get over to that side. The main problem is if you have a big key and you open that locked door in the back, there are 2 locked doors, and that's what screws everything up. Looks like Osse's gonna do the same thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what these guys have left that they could be doing, and it's like Pyramid and Catfish come to mind.
Probably
Pendant Pod?
Probably have to go Pyramid and Catfish and or Pod.
In that case, honestly, yeah, I actually do think this play makes a lot of sense. Just hedge against the progression in there being flippers, which would only open up this Ice Palace with the Zora area done. So you get your mirror hookshot out of here. But we've seen 2 items already, and they were both kind of junk. And chat's right, Mire area is also an option.
Yeah, Mire is an option. They could go to Spike Cave, which is pretty much a one-off, especially for Osse, since DT has not gone up to the mountain yet.
Yeah. At this point, though, I still think that this play makes sense, just because it is a crystal that you have to do, and if you're hedging against flippers being the next progression, then flippers do only open up this, so it's a good hedge.
Yep, and we do see that we are hookshot locked eyes. The big key was in the freezer chest. So there's only a handful of places the hookshot can be. It's not going to be on the boss. What I like about this play, to your point, is that you have to do Ice Palace anyway. And with the Icebreaker strat, it's a much faster play than it used to be. I think if we are still doing the bomb jump, I don't think I'd like this play anymore.
Yeah, that's also true. Icebreaker saves a lot of time for full clearing Ice Palace. For Go mode, it's not quite as big of a gain, but it is still a gain.
Yeah, it's a gain. Optimally, I believe it's about a 15-second gain for the best players between doing it with Icebreaker and doing it with a bomb jump. Of course, some people probably, are a little bit better at. These days, a lot of runners are much better at the Icebreaker, and kind of, they don't get as much practice with the bomb jump anymore. I believe Osse skipped one of these checks, and which makes sense too, because this is all not in logic. So he's figuring.
Osse skipped a lot of checks here.
Yeah, I think he got 2 items and is missed the third one.
He got 3 items. It was an item, literally the first 3 checks.
Was it? Okay.
Items. But what happened was Osse went and hit the crystal switch before doing Icebreaker. Yeah, DT didn't, so he had to go hunt down an extra small key, which wound up being in the big chest, so he had to do Freezor and...
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Chest.
Yeah, it's a weird thing because this is the one layout where if you don't hit that crystal and you're not in go mode, you will get punished. Most of them don't do that. We're also cane locked for what it's worth, but we don't care about that.
Yeah, we have that. Of course, I do think that with the way this dungeon was laid out, the only part of it that's hookshot locked is the right side. And there was nothing on the right side that blocked the way to help there.
Yeah, I've been told that it's hookshot lock regardless in the back. Just because you can use keys badly, but in the end, there was nothing in Ice Palace. It's the main point. Makes me think our go mode item may end up being those flippers.
Yeah, nothing in Ice Palace regardless is the point, for sure.
Yeah, interesting. It looks like Osse for a second was going to go check the Myra area, but now they're both heading over to Pod, it looks like. I kind of like the idea of checking the Myra stuff first. Not going... I would go into Pod before going into Myra, but it's a very quick check to do the shed and the checkerboard cave, and you can just float away from the checkerboard cave.
Yeah, but they're chasing density at this point. And something that I think might be in the back of both of these guys' minds is we got that bow pretty early.
And it didn't lead to anything. Yeah, if the bow's going to lead to something, it is much more likely to lead to it in Pod.
Right. So I think that this play does make a lot of sense.
Both plays make sense.
Yeah. Well,
and
okay, let me rephrase that. I do prefer
you prefer this play
to Myra area here.
Okay, that's fair.
Just on that one account.
Yeah, like I said, I would do it. It could be that both are the answer. We are missing 3 items, but yeah, I would have gone to the Myra area first, and then just did the three checks there, and then come over to Pod. I'm not going into Myra at this point. That's for sure.
Yeah. Actually, Myra area right now only 2 checks without a mirror.
Good point.
Little bit of lost value, especially since you can't combo in the back of Desert as well, because both of these guys do still have to kill land
so that's a very good point, and we are guaranteed to find the mirror. And I do believe we saw both items in Desert, so there's no reason to do Desert anytime sooner than getting that mirror.
That's exactly correct. Yeah. Of course, there is one exception, that being Mirror Pyramid Fairy is not off the table yet.
It is.
But that does require us to find Hookshot first.
Yeah. Just a little bit of divergence. DT going to clear out all the front and get all the small keys. Osse is going to went straight to the back.
I kind of like this for Pendant Pod specifically, just because we do know that at least 4 of the 6 keys have to be in the front.
Yep.
So chase the items in the back and bail.
Yeah, I think what Osse will do here, let's see if he does a hammer jump to get over to the... Yeah, he's going to do a hammer jump to save a key. And then if he doesn't get what he wants, he can still go and do the part that DT is doing right now.
Yeah, no big key though, so having to leave that check behind. That is the one issue with back first Palace of Darkness.
And he's not going to get the big chest because the big key is over there. Oh, but he does get a mirror. And the flippers are on. Oh boy. Okay, so that's we're now just missing a hook shot. Osse will get... I have no doubt that Osse is going to go ahead and do that right side. Or not. Okay.
No, for him, mirror...
he's going back in. Okay.
I was going to say, though, that for Osse, mirror would be plenty of incentive to leave. Because he can go to Death Mountain and so on with all of that. Yep. The only thing it doesn't open up is Swamp. Meanwhile, for DT, already having done Ice Palace, Flippers actually don't open anything for him, so he has no incentive.
And unless this is... I don't see Osse going back for the big chest, and unless this is exactly the hook shot, which would be like the most amazing... Oh my god, Osse, what? Wow, okay. This is a problem. I don't understand going back in for those small keys and not going back in for the rest of the right side. This is going to give DT a huge advantage here. These mirror checks, there's going to be a whole lot of them, and they're going to take Osse some time.
Yeah, the good news Okay, that's an ether medallion, so that's a rabbit hole we can't follow.
Yep,
That's good. But the big good news for Osse here, although I do hesitate to call it good, is that by far the biggest mirror rabbit hole is East and Dark Death Mountain, which will take him right alongside Crystal Tower of Hera, which he'll have to do anyways.
Yes. And, you know, there's a hook shot out there somewhere. But I did not... What I don't understand in Osse's play there was why go back into pod but only do the 2 checks. Like either just leave it or finish it. That's the part I don't understand
that one myself.
We are going to see him finish up Desert right now, though. Because he can.
Yeah. Definitely the best time to do it when you're back in the area, especially knowing that you don't have to come back for Meyer later. And at 45 minutes, DT finally taking his Sphere 1 flute onto the mountain. Yeah, this is one of those classic sort of, like, in open mode, you see people put off the castle till, like, the hour mark. Same sort of thing.
At some point, Osse's going to have to get back to pod, and that's going to lose him time.
Yeah, because that's not a short walk to pod. Also, good on DT there. Carrying that bomb up the ladder, stairs, whatever, makes super speed actually useful on them. Like, you actually get... It's not quite full speed, but it is close to it.
I suspect Osse will also head up the mountain, so we're going to see some mountain checks from both sides.
Yeah, his only other option at this point is a couple of miscellaneous overworld checks, stuff like the Graveyard Ledge, the cave south of the Grove, and so on.
And they'll have Magic Bat pretty soon. At least Osse will. DT already has it, because we just got powder on the Ether tab.
Yeah, that means no need to think about fake powder, but it's not a big deal regardless. Of course, the one downside to Mirror being your Tower of Hera access instead of Hookshot is we can't Herapod it.
Yep, we'll have to do this the old-fashioned way. What Osse really needs at this point, if Hookshot shows up on the mountain, that's going to put DT into go mode. I have a bad feeling for Osse that what he's going to do if when he doesn't find flippers up here, if he does find Hookshot, there's all those mirror checks, and they're kind of all over the place. There's 3 of them: the Graveyard Ledge, the K45, and the Bombos Tablet. Not in good places. Like, those are really nice to route in if you have the mirror early, and really terrible to route in when you have to get the mirror late.
Yes. At this point, I think Osse's best chance, if you're rooting for him, is for... like,
Hookshot needs to be in one of those locations.
Hookshot to be in one of those locations. Also for Ether to be on the mountain, with Osse not immediately taking it to Meyer.
We don't care about Ether unless Hookshot is in Misery Mire.
No, we don't. But the idea for Osse is that if DT finds it, that's a rabbit hole he can follow.
Oh, gotcha.
So that's, like, I think, best case scenario for Osse at this point, having missed those flippers. But even in that case, I have a feeling he would go to Meyer looking for flippers before he went back to pod. So there's no great setups here for him. Anyways, nothing in here. I think we saw both items. I think they were both junk.
Yeah, I believe so.
So yeah, Hera is empty, which is fine. That was a red rupee on the floating island.
Not getting that.
Yeah. And DT gonna climb Paradox Cave for us. That's actually, chat's got good ideas for good scenarios for Osse here, mostly involving the front of Swamp Palace, which
Yep, that
didn't
makes
cross my
sense.
mind, even though it should have. But it's a hard situation regardless when you've missed a check in a dungeon you've already been in. Of course, I say missed, consciously skipped. Same thing in this context.
Yeah, it's definitely not an accident. He knows that he skipped that area, and he knows that there could be something there, and has taken the chance that I mean, Pen and Pod is just one of those weird places where sometimes you see a lot of stuff in there, and and in fact, it's very common to see a lot of stuff in there. But
yeah, and it's one of those things. He already found.
He found the mirror. So
yeah, he found progression.
Yep. And like you said, with
that just makes
like you
it
said
hard.
earlier,
Sorry.
If the item's been switched, I think it's more likely Osse goes and continues to check, because the flippers for him would have opened exactly one item that would have been the hobo that he hasn't done yet. Whereas mirror opens up a lot more. So I don't think you leave for just that one check.
Yeah, honestly, I think for that specific reason, the Ice Palace fake flipper play, brilliant from both runners.
Oh yeah.
Just more so for DT because of how he routed Pod. Of course, we're through all the light world checks on the mountain now. Still no hook shot to be found. That is the only thing we care about at this point. We've seen everything else.
Some nice finds to be had. I mean, silvers might be out there, but we don't care about those. We'll just say, oh, yay, I have silvers.
Yeah, and we'll probably get the arrows in Ganon's tower anyways.
Yeah,
that's
probably.
How the game
Either
runs.
that, or they're going to be hiding out there in Turtle Rock, deep in Turtle Rock, and we'll just never know, not care. We're at Tempered Sword. It's not a big deal.
Yep. No issues just spinning a bunch and killing Ganon that way.
And since the only thing we're looking for is the hook shot, there is no point in doing anything more than bonking that first chest and checking, not even bothering with the rest, even if these guys are accomplished really good hovers. And also Ether and Turtle Rock. So Turtle Rock's not going to be the answer for the hook shot.
DT's got Ether lit up. Where was that?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
I don't remember seeing that.
DT hasn't done the Misery Mire area, so he's going to check here now. Was that also in Pod somewhere?
Yeah, Tracker's saying that Ether's not actually there. It was misclick, which does happen. Shoutouts to Phyllis, the Tracker, for doing this for us.
He's looking for flippers and a hook shot, so he did a slight try of a hover and gave up on it pretty quickly. Osse's not really a hover. I think if pressed, he can do it.
Yeah, I don't think either of these runners specifically are.
Like Osse will do the he's actually rather famous for the Moldorm bounce in GT. So if this were a hover seat, which with Swamp Palace being a crystal, it can't be, that would be his method of choice.
Yeah, was he the one that originally found that, or just the guy that got really good at it?
I don't know that he found it, but yeah, he got really good at it, and he's used it a few times, and especially he's used it SMZ3 a few times. So yeah. Okay, so Osse, you gonna do the mirror checks? Or you gonna go back into Pod? Because that's your choices right now.
He's going for the Bombos tablet and probably
I think so.
The
K45. Yeah, K45 Bombos tablet. We need a better name for K45, by the way.
Yeah.
A number on a map just doesn't cut it. And South of Grove isn't bad, but not great either.
It's a lot of words.
Yep.
Oh, actually, Pyramid Fairy. Osse can do that.
Ooh.
You can also combine that in with Catfish, which is a very out-of-the-way check.
Meanwhile, DT is going to go ahead and finish off Desert, since he's in the area. Osse using the quirk that says, if you hook shot or if you are in a damage boost, you can actually run with the bomb.
Yep. Basically, the bomb has to catch up to you before you can drop it. So actually, that crystal pickup from DT, both of these guys are on 6 crystals. I didn't even realize that it was that far along already.
Oh yeah, I mean, you think of the dungeons we've had to do.
Yeah, for sure. It just, even though we're 1 item from go mode, it doesn't really feel like it.
Okay, so Ossie's in a good spot to go back into pod, but I don't think that's where he's headed. Probably going to head over to Catfish, like you said.
Yep. We did also see him say no to the gold sword, which is fine. He doesn't need it.
Oh, is that what was sitting there on the ledge?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame. I personally would take it, but I'm not Ossie. Ossie doesn't need it. I do. I don't need it, but I like it. It's good to have.
Yeah, and the short version of things is that with no Trinex fight, Cold Stare already down, it could give you a little bit of ease of execution and consistency in the Ganon fight, but not a time save. Especially because, as we all very well know, Ossie's good at video games.
He's very good at these two are both good at this game. Otherwise, they would not still be playing.
Yeah, for sure. Especially, like, the Invitational League is just stacked top to bottom with fantastic runners, and we've cut it down to 8 teams at this point, so level of competition only going up when it was already super high to begin with.
Okay, interesting. Turning in that mushroom. Completely forgot about that mushroom. We got that so long ago out of logic. It's in logic now, though. It's in logic now for DT. We didn't find anything for it, though.
Yeah, so now where's Ossie gonna go?
He's got a bunch of one-off checks.
It's looking like probably... Did he turn in the Smith already? I forget.
He turned in the Smith, has not done the purple chest.
Okay, so yeah, I would imagine he'll grab the purple chest here, magic powder, take the purple chest to the graveyard ledge.
He could do that, or he could, you know, drop the chest, run to the turn in, and then do Bombo's tablet in that area.
Yeah, that's another consideration.
And unfortunately for Ossie, is the one thing that could have helped him out is if DT went looking for that hookshot in Swamp Palace. Now, of course, hookshot could be in Swamp Palace, but
we won't
not
know
looking
that.
there.
Yeah.
It looks like DT is going to exhaust all his possibilities before pulling that trigger.
Nobody wants to go into Swamp Palace without a hookshot.
Nope. But to be fair, who wants to go all over the world looking at these mirror checks?
It's still better than having to double dip Swamp Palace. And yeah, just to recap for chat a bit, anybody who may have joined this race a bit late, we are 6 crystals down on both sides. DT looking for just a hookshot for go mode. Ossie needing both hookshot and flippers, which the flippers are in Palace of Darkness. Both runners already been there. Ossie got the mirror out of the back and basically decided he was done with pod after that. DT was more thorough with routing the front, got the flippers out of the bow side, then got the mirror out of the back. So Ossie needs to get back to pod at some point for those flippers. But for now, he's looking pretty much everywhere else for them and the hookshot.
Okay, so he's checked K45. He's gonna leave this purple chest behind and run to the locksmith, and then check Bombo's tablet. That'll leave graveyard ledge and pod for him. And so he's gonna get back there pretty soon.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
Hookshot opens up Hookshot Caves. Hopefully he doesn't choose to go back there first. Oh, there's the hookshot.
Okay, now I guess, yeah, that does open the question. Does he go back to the mountain before pod?
Wow.
Because he is still looking.
That is a tough one. Like, you left pod for a reason, you know. But, man, oh man, having to climb all the way up the mountain.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing here for Ossie is that DT is going to grab his purple chest in about 3 seconds.
Yeah, and this is going to be the hookshot cave. Best thing I can say is don't be Ether. because that could send him into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, Ether is the absolute rabbit hole item right now. Opens up both Mire and Turtle Rock, and just you don't want to see that happen to a runner.
I mean, I do think Osse has a bit of an execution edge. He might still be able to close this gap if he can go back to pod after Hookshot Cave. But if he gets sucked into Turtle Rock or even Misery Mire, well, it would be Turtle Rock because you're right there. It's game over. I just don't see him coming back from that.
Yeah, good hookshot clipping there. The second one that he did to get to the right of that block, that's not free. It's quite difficult.
No, I struggle with that all the time. But I'm also not in the Invitational League.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things. If you can consistently get that specific trick, it is because you've put in the practice for it.
Okay, let's see if Hookshot has anything interesting for us. Okay. A shovel. Oof. Okay, we didn't find Ether. We did find a shovel. Osse probably going to follow up on that shovel right away. DT in go mode with that hookshot now. We'll go straight over to Swamp. Go mode Swamp pretty quick, so Osse's got to have to hustle over to pod as soon as he can. He's got 2 other checks he can do before that. One is going to be this shovel, and the other is going to be Graveyard Ledge. And oh my god, please don't do Graveyard Ledge first. That's so slow for one item.
The problem is Graveyard Ledge makes more sense than going back to pod. I
know it does.
Because he's looking to get as deep into the logic as possible at this point.
You're right. It really is. We'll see what he does. But yeah, I mean, I hate to say it. It's so much harder to get to. Let's see where he heads. 5 or 3. 3. This is Graveyard Ledge. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the execution edge that he has is going to be enough to catch him up at this point. Because he's going to go see it's not Graveyard Ledge, head back to pod.
And then by that point, DT will be pretty close to, if not done.
Yeah, I mean, Swamp just doesn't take that long.
Yeah, and DT is no slouch on the execution.
Oh, and I don't think Osse got the second item out of Skull Woods. He's going to do that first. That hurts.
I thought he did.
No, he never came back. Yeah, he never came back to the front.
Okay. Luckily, it's not in this chest.
It's
but
the next one,
the next
and he
one?
got the first one, so.
So yeah, he is out already. Gonna be on his way over to the Graveyard Ledge. Which, as long as that's not Ether, it's not total rabbit hole inducing disaster for us.
Right.
But it's still... He's still way behind.
This is gonna be really... I mean, really, at this point, DT has to make a mistake for him to catch up. And mistakes just aren't made that often at this level.
Yeah. There's Diver Down from DT. I've actually never seen the block pick up there to avoid having to do the sword spin, but that was smooth.
Mm-hmm. Not even picking up the chest there. A lot of runners, even in go mode, will pick up those 3 chests, the 2 in the Diver Down room and then the 1 in the Waterfall room, on the chance that they could pick up something like silvers. DT says, nope, I don't want any part of that. And Osse finally coming to the conclusion that he does have to go back into pod, unfortunately for him.
Yep. He's out of checks at this point, so he'll go down the right side, get his flippers, and then be off to Swamp. But again, by the time he gets it, DT is going to be done with Swamp and opening Ganon Sour, probably. Well, not opening it by the time he gets the flippers. That's a bit much.
No, I think so. I mean, the right side of pod is not exactly fast. That's why Osse didn't go there the first time.
Yeah, and again, in a race setting, when he's already found big progression in the form of the mirror, which opened up East F Mountain and all of its checks for him.
Yep.
It makes sense. It's just, it didn't work today, and that feels really bad.
Yeah, it's kind of strange because it felt like Osse was being the more thorough player at the beginning, and towards the end, yeah, when he got into pod, got his mirror, he just said, "That's it. I'm done. I'm done." And unfortunately, that wasn't the right answer. Rando be rando. Sometimes will get you.
Yep. And that's why we play the games instead of just comparing NMG times.
Yeah.
Anyways, chat's having a party. They're throwing out Ganon's tower numbers. You want to talk about that a bit?
Sure. Although, Willard, I don't think putting 3 numbers works. There are 22 locations where that GT big key can be. Most you've already put in your number. Your guess is 1 through 22. Feel free to put any number you want. Just don't expect to win if it's not within 1 through 22. I personally am a big fan of strange numbers.
Yep. And at some point, DT will find that big key because that's how the game works. And at that point, we'll know who wins internet points.
If there's no big key there, then something's wrong. This is not key sanity. Surprise big key GT big key only key sanity is not on the table.
That would just not be fun. Let's be honest here. Like, all dungeons key sanity with those castle tower small keys is bad enough. Although with chat mentioning it, 24 has won a big key guessing game before.
Yeah, I think that's the proximity. Like if no one guesses close enough. And there's that bottle with the fairy that Osse left ages ago. That he actually that's right. Yep. That's right. He never checked it, so now he knows it's just a bottle. I wonder if he realizes he skipped that. What if that had been the hook shot, or the flippers? Okay, number 1 is a small key. Number 2 is bombs, and DT gonna mirror on out. Not gonna go all the way to the right.
Betting on that Cane of Samaria not being required.
Well, there's some silvers. Yeah, I personally like to go right side. Normally I don't, but with the Cane of Samaria not being used for anything else, I often will go right side just because of that.
Yeah, like going right when you have a small key has become the standard play over the past few years. But
I'm just specifically because that Cane of Samaria was not used for anything else. But there's the big key. That was number 4. And
yep, 2 in the hope room, plus the torch, plus 1 in the sulfur.
I assume he saw that gold sword sitting there on the pyramid and didn't grab it either. He now has everything, so no reason to pick up anything else. You'll notice he switched off those silver arrows to save a little bit of lag just in that previous room, but one-shotting instead of two-shotting is better, so he switches them back on. You can do that with quick swap if you hold both L and R at the same time.
Yep. Also lets you swap between flute shovel, mushroom powder.
Yep.
Not your
bottles and bottles. It doesn't let you do the bottle. Right, because bottles are just normally in the quick swap. Oh, and there's that ether.
Yep.
Well, he was never going to get sucked down that rabbit hole, at least.
Yeah, which is good in general. Yeah, actually, we've got DT back on the wooden arrows here for the gauntlet. Which is fine, because like you said, silvers do lag quite a bit. Wooden arrows kill everything in that first room in one hit except the red.
Yeah, I think...
And
I wonder if he'll switch back to the silvers once he gets back to the rooms with the red Zazax.
I don't think he'll switch back to the bow at all until Lamola's.
Yeah, it looks like, maybe he's just going to use the fire rod here.
Yeah, fire rod for the Stoffos here. Although splash damage didn't do it for him this time. Lots of quirks to that, which is why the spooky action glitch works. Osse already threw Swamp Palace. That was fast, but he's got tons to make up and not much time to do it. And DT just using Fire Rod for the Landmolas. Chat saying Osse got 0 cycle Argus kill. I didn't even see that.
I was watching DT as well.
If he got that, that's
really good.
Yeah, that's like I said, thing in the game for my money.
Like I said, the execution from Osse's side, and really good. Just not going to be enough. Just gave DT too much of a lead by leaving those flippers in pod.
Yeah, and then having to do all those extra checks looking for them after finding the hook shot. Because if it was just a hook shot finding race, Osse was the first one to that.
Yeah, you got that hook shot first.
DT having a little bit of issues with his hitbox and that full magic collision, but he had to wait out the jingle anyways to avoid despawning everything on the tower, because if you go upstairs, same frame that a torch goes out, which is the same frame the jingle starts playing.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Everything goes away, and you have to start over.
Yeah, it's bad. DT would still be leading if that happened, though.
Yeah, everything includes Aga 2, and thus you can't beat Aga 2, thus you can't go fight Ganon.
Yep. Also includes this Moldorm here. So if you can't hover, then you're
stuck
just
here.
Stuck before even realizing Aga 2.
Yeah, I gotta admit, some of these Enemizer seeds, when you go into that room, that's the second Torches room, I get just a little bit nervous if I don't hear the sound. Because sometimes in the Enemizer rooms, you'll go in there and you don't see any enemies. And it's like, are there enemies here? And they might be like those little guys that run across or something. They just don't quite spawn right away.
Yeah, and it's been a little stressful. I've been there too. Osse actually going straight left Ganon's tower. This will save him a little bit of time not checking Hope Room.
Yeah, it looks like he's setting up for a Dark Magician, which actually with the cane I actually really like, because it gets you these early checks, and then if it's not here, and guarantees a small key, and then gets you that right side to see if that cane is needed. But it really wasn't, because he's going to get that big key in just a second. Meanwhile, DT about to fight Ganon.
Okay, Osse actually needed more checks to find the big key than DT did. That's a little humorous, I think.
Yeah, because he went around the different way on the. Actually, I think the way Osse does is the way I see it done more often. But
yeah,
for whatever reason, and I don't know why this is, but it feels like everyone in the Link to the Past community does everything from the left first. I don't know why. Whether it be Waterfall Cave, Pyramid Fairy, all those different, 2 chest checks. Meanwhile, DT in a nice start for Ganon.
Yeah, got the Trident Spin, which is the important part of getting the 1 cycle phase 1. Now just getting a bunch of slashes here. Has Red Mail, gonna just face tank the bats. I don't know if that was 12. I think it was, and it was. So yeah, 1 and 1. Good job. And then just 1 more warp cycle here. Not even a warp, and oh no, silver.
Nice double right off the start. We don't care about Torch Glitch here with silvers. And another double to finish him off. Very nice fight from DT.
Yep. Not getting that Torch Glitch is what allowed him to get really both of those doubles. I don't think he could have gotten Torch Glitch.
Yeah, probably.
After that first one. So yeah.
Yeah, I know in that situation I'd rather have the doubles. Like Torch Glitch just doesn't really make a huge difference in this. And GG's to DT, finishing with an official race time of 1:13:06.
Yep. And that will put his team WJP-DTB up 1-0 in the best of 5 series. Actually, that's his team's first win against Shock Tool's digging game this season. Yep. DT lost to Osse in Week 2 Open Week.
And I'm going to have to correct you as a Super Metroid fan. It's Shack Tool.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
I don't Super Metroid very much.
And it looks like we have DT with us right now. GG's.
Hi. GG's.
Okay, so I don't know how much you were listening towards the end, but did you catch what the big difference was?
Osse and I were chatting a little bit in the race time channel, so I think I have an idea just about the flippers being the big thing.
Yeah. So he went into the back of pod first, got his mirror, and went back in for the first 2 chests, which is the part I found odd. Like, either leave or come back and finish the dungeon. We're not finished, but because no one's going to do Helmosaur in that situation. But he went back in, got a couple keys, and then left. You did it the more standard way, got your flippers, which didn't open anything for you because you'd already done Ice Palace. And
yeah, they were useless. Mirror was actually useless too.
Yeah, well, you did have to go to Swamp. I mean,
well,
otherwise you wouldn't be looking for it. But yeah, no, there were no items behind the mirror, if that's what you're talking about. But you're absolutely right about that.
Yeah, I think it's actually like my second race in the league, and I can't remember. The first one where this happened might have also been against Osse.
I'm going to stop you for a second, because Osse just had to show off the Moldorm bounce there, because he often does that when he's behind. So there you go. He got that nice Moldorm bounce.
Yeah, there were a lot of buffers there. I'm not sure that was faster than just killing Moldorm, but it was super cool.
Yeah, it wasn't. He was doing that for the swag. There's no doubt about it.
It's really cool regardless.
All right, but yeah, I mean that flipper, that was the big thing, and pendant pod is pendant pod, right? It's what it does.
Yeah, pendant pod when you've already found big progression too.
Well, I just remember one daily when I had five unique items in pod. The last one being a blue boomerang, but the other 4 all being progression. So.
I do want to say, Osse got one of the nicest Aga 2 triples I've ever seen to finish that fight off. So he'll be dropping into Ganon now. Also, that credits text for the uncle. It's not as good as when he gives you bombs. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. But yeah, DT, so you're up 1-0 on a tough team after having... dispatched of did you check your boot? That's how you guys feeling?
I mean, I'm feeling good. I don't know how my teammates are feeling. I haven't chatted with them, but a win's a win, and it's playoffs, so. But hey, to cut this short, I gotta head out. Thanks for the comms, and GG's to Osse once he gets in here.
All right, thanks, DT.
Yeah, unfortunately, DT did cut it short, as he just said, but Osse's in a Ganon fight. Didn't get the 1 cycle phase 1 because he wasn't able to get the double spin off the Trident, but everything else has been good. And more oh no silver.
Also getting that nice double to start off.
Yeah, I think he can get it here. Yep, he's good.
Yeah, very nice. That's a difficult double to get because you have to walk all the way around. But does get it and does finish up. And we'll go ahead and cross that bridge with an official race time of 1:17:40. Sorry for the spoilers that he's not falling off the bridge.
Yep, so we'll see if he'll join us for a bit and go from there. And while we wait for that, the schedule for the rest of this series, the only game that's been scheduled for this series is Azure vs. Willard at 6:10 p.m. on Saturday.
Yeah, and that's and I just got to mention that, Osse is here, but just since we mentioned that race, Willard and Azure picked some pretty calm settings. I believe it was Vanilla Swords, Fast Ganon, and non-key Sanity. But then Sahabot decided to roll Randomizer and Inverted. So looking forward to those two hashing it out in that one. And I do say GG's to Osse. So, Pod, I mean, what can you do?
Yeah.
Did you consider going and finishing out? Because you went back in, grabbed a couple of small keys. Did you consider going all the way? Or at least all the way to the right side? Because I can't imagine doing Helmosaur in that situation.
Like, either you take the mirror and leave, or you finish at the right side. Because the only reason to go into the 2 chests that I did do is for the 2 front items, and I didn't get either. So
Yep.
absolutely should have continued since I went back in. So that was just a mistake.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was a pretty costly mistake. So at that point, was it the I know I lost if it's there, so I'm not going to check it, or did you just feel like the other locations? I mean, at that point, it could be anywhere. Those slippers, you had a lot of different checks, at a lot of different places.
Yeah, so for me, it couldn't be right side pod. It had to be Helmasaur, because that's often skipped. But that is the available chests.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because if it's Helmasaur, you're fine, because like nobody does that. I say that in the sense that some people might, but I would not have expected anyone to go do Helmasaur in that situation, especially having already found something.
Yeah, my other out was if it was Ether, and then I had to go into one of the bigger pendants.
Yeah, but Ether was never going to be a thing. Turtle Rock and Mire locked behind Swamp, which is walk behind everything else. So, and at one point, you guys were just looking for the Swamp Palace starter package to finish the game. So.
I know, it's just the swamp items.
I will say that I was happy to see Ether behind everything, just because while the way that the race did pan out with you skipping the 1-2 checks in pod was unfortunate, I didn't want to see either of you fall down that Mire Turtle Rock rabbit hole for nothing.
Yep. Because I assume that had Ether been sitting there on, say, Hookshot Cave, you go in, right?
I was Turtle Rock. Like after Hera. Like, there's so many checks in the mountain, and then they don't have any. Like, surely this means Turtle Rock is open for more checks. But then it wasn't. Then it became DT could have gotten it early. That being Hookshot and Flippers.
Okay, I got one other question for you. When you did the dam, you didn't do the flooded item.
I did yeah.
I mean, it's a good thing that it was just a bottle. You didn't have to. It was bottle number 4, in fact. But I noticed that when you did that, I wasn't sure if that was on purpose. Because you're going to be back there at some point, likely anyway, or if
purpose will save 20 seconds. So.
It just saves a little bit of time, so long as there's nothing there. But it was just a interesting thing you don't see a whole lot of.
Yeah, it's something you do if you want to try to combine that check with the swamp dive. It makes going into swamp early a lot more appealing. And it saves a bit of time.
Yeah, I guess this seed, in hindsight, was not the seed to do that, but I see where it's coming from. I like the idea.
All right, so now you get to sit back and rely on your teammates. How are you feeling?
I have good teammates. I have confidence. Nothing to worry about.
All right, I like to hear that. And be ready for game 4 or game 5 if it should happen, I assume.
Yeah, well, wondering how I guess we'll base game 4 and 5, like how we plan them out on the game 3 coming up with mystery seed settings.
Yeah, you heard those settings, right? Yeah. Will and Astro were like, we'll do something simple, and then the Saha bot said, nope. Not so simple.
Those are potentially hard settings, so we'll see how that goes. Should be a good watch.
I will say that vanilla swords with inverted specifically is always exciting times.
Yeah, because you're not getting a sword until you get Light World access.
Yeah, and then it's a late sword in an Randomizer.
Yeah.
So,
yep. But I guess at least you don't have the obligatory inverted hammer blind requirement, because who knows who's actually going to be sitting there in that boss fight. All right. Anything you want to add before we start closing things out?
About this seed specifically, I enjoyed it. Enjoyed all of it. It was fun having early boots, early tempered sword. You get to go through everything fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys had tempered sword like what within 10 minutes or so. It was very quick. And you could have had a gold sword if you wanted it.
So, comfy seed. But in the end, it didn't work out for me. So, GG's to DT.
Yep. And I'm sure we'll see, like I said, the Willard and
Willard and Astor.
Yeah, Willard and Astor, sorry, I named
6:10. Yeah. 6:10 Saturday night. Hitaka and JP, thank you. Have not scheduled yet. That'll be the open match. So, and then of course we'll see what happens from there. But yeah, should be some good matches. When you get down to this level, you're just nothing but good stuff left.
Yeah, and I'm always going to root for results that get us more games. So games 4 and 5 will come. Keep an eye out. I hope.
But yeah, I will go ahead now that we're wrapping things up. There are still games left on the schedule going on right now. Started about 25 minutes ago. Over on SpeedGaming 2, we have the 2019 Titans Myths of 2019 versus Error 216, Etium versus Error. And then following that, also on SpeedGaming 2, will be the same two teams, Big Dunka versus Sailor Nep. That'll be the casual boots matchup and then the power matchup at 8:10. I do not know what the settings are, but I'm sure they're going to be interesting. So I know I'll be tuning over to that, and hopefully all of you will too.
Yeah, I will say, Sahabot seems allergic to mundane seeds.
It does seem that way. But yeah, that'll do it for us. Thank you to Reg for commentating with me. Thank you to our tracker, Philistine, and of course to everybody behind the scenes over at SpeedGaming and from the league. And let you close us out, Reg.
Yep. Make sure follow the runners on Twitch as well. Their Twitch names are exactly as you see on the screen, Osse101 in the name of DT. They're awesome, so check them out. And other than that, yeah, Tracy said it all. We'll see you guys some other race.